Hello, Internet. I wanted to introduce you to Marbles. I've never actually shown you how beautiful she is. You've never heard the story of how I got Marbles. We were out walking Sadie when we heard a meow from the tree. We looked up in the tree and there was Marbles. She was just a kitten. And there was a big bird next to her. And Marbles was in the nest of the bird, and the bird was going and feeding Marbles. The bird thought Marbles was her baby. But you weren't the bird's baby, were you, Marbles? And so I climbed up the tree to get Marbles. And wouldn't you know it, it was a trap. Because another big bird flew down and it picked me up and flew off with me. I looked back at Marbles and she said, meow at me. Ooh. And so, well, you know who wasn't too happy about that? Old Sadie here. She watched that bird carry me off and she came running after. And the bird couldn't carry me very high up because it was a very weak bird, and I'm a very light man. But Sadie was chasing after us. And I'm saying, Sadie, help me, save me, Sadie. And she's running after and she's going at it, trying to hiss it down, and that's not working. And so Sadie's looking around and she sees my elderly mother. And so she goes over to my elderly mother and kicks her out of the wheelchair. It's an electric wheelchair. She goes zooming after me and the bird. And I said, Sadie, please help me, help me, help me. And as we're flying over this big gorge, Sadie goes up a ramp and she leaps out of the wheelchair onto the back of the bird. And she starts biting the bird, going, and the bird drops me and I fall into the wheelchair and I go down a ramp on the other side of the gorge. And I'm looking up there and I'm seeing Sadie and the bird fighting each other. And Sadie's just going, and the bird's going at her. And on the other side of the gorge, I'm just sitting there watching, and then I hear a meow behind me. And you know who it was? It was Marbles. She had ran all the way around the gorge. It was a very short gorge. It was just more like a hole in the ground. And I said, Marbles, what are you doing here? Well, I didn't know she was Marbles then. But I called her Marbles, and it turned out that was her name. I said, Marbles, what are you doing here? You tricked me. And she said, meow. I said, oh, okay, you were tricked by the bird. And so I look up into the air again, and Sadie and the bird are gone. And I thought I lost Sadie forever, but as you can tell, Sadie's here. Well, it turns out a day later, there's a knock on the door. I open up, and there's Sadie. And she's got a bucket of KFC. She drags it in, and I said, Sadie, you're not going to bring that garbage into my house. And I throw that garbage KFC crap out of the door. And then she laid down on this tower, and she hasn't gotten up since. And that's the story of how we found Marbles. If you like the story, I don't know why you would. But go ahead and leave a comment below on how much you love this story. Give me lots of attention. Give Marbles and Sadie lots of attention. In my next video, I'm going to pet Sadie. If I get 100 views on this video, I will pet my cat.